What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with another video. As I mentioned earlier, I'm cutting, and this is my first meal of the day. This is my Jimmy Dean's sausage bowl, which actually doesn't have very many carbs in it. And I'm gonna get a bite real quick, just because, is it just me? Or is it like when you're watching a movie and the actor's eating while they're talking, speaking their lines? Like, this happens a lot in Ocean's 11. Like, every single time Brad Pitt's character Rusty's on screen, he's eating something, like a, what do you call it, cocktail? It's got shrimp cocktail. He's always eating something. There's nothing more irritating to me on TV or in public than something, like hearing someone eat. It's the most, like, on trend, it's enough to make me homicidal. Like, I cannot stand, especially if they're eating and talking, you know? Because then you have to chew, the smacking, then they try to talk over it. It's just mirrors that make you totally homicidal. So, today, what we're actually talking about is not me eating and talking, despite how unbelievably annoying that is. Wait a minute, what is this video about?
I don't know, you didn't tell me.
Damn it, man. I had a meaning for this video. Oh yeah! Today what we're talking about is how I solved my sugar crash problem on Trenbolone acetate. So if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you know that I have been experimenting with Trenbolone acetate for the first time ever and have been having phenomenal results. The results have been epic. I love this drug. I am in love with this drug. It has possibly permanently replaced Trenbolone E in my protocol, really for all of the wrong reasons. I do not think that Trenbolone Ace is necessarily a superior drug. It is certainly a drug that in my body comes with more side effects than Trenbolone E. It's just that I actually like the side effects that I'm getting from it. So I'm currently taking 20 milligrams of Tren Ace twice a day. That's right. Hey baby, what is your opinion of the twice a day Trenbolone acetate injection, keeping in mind that I am maybe the only person on earth doing this because everyone else says that you only need to pen Tren Ace once a day or even once every other day?
It's 1,000 times better than the Tren Ace once a day.
1,000 times better than Tren Ace once a day.
At least.
She has, see, that's the other reason you don't eat and talk. You get food coming out of your mouth. She has no reason to lie about this. So this is the perfect test case scenario because we cannot possibly have placebo effect acting on her input. She's only observing what my behavior is consistently like, and she saw it consistently on Mint Ace once a day and then Mint Ace twice a day. Then she saw it consistently on Tren Ace once a day and then Tren Ace twice a day. Why do you feel like it is 1,000 times better when I inject it twice a day?
You don't have the same come down. When you have it come up and come down, but it's so much more level. It's so the trough is so much less.
Yeah.
That it wasn't the come up that seemed to be the real bad part. The peak wasn't the bad part. It was the trough when you just hit bottom.
So the come down, like I said, was the problem.
And it was ruining our evenings.
It was ruining our evenings.
Every evening was just kind of shit. And now that it's much more stable, then we can get through our whole day and have a lovely time.
So do you feel like, because we talked about this the other day, do you think it's just that you're wary of time? Like you're more, you pay more attention to the clock than I do? Or do you notice any signs or symptoms when, like, uh-oh, he's either missed his second shot, or it's time for his second shot? Can you detect that in any way?
Yeah.
You can.
I think that you mean I think I noticed it less about the second shot, but like when you were coming down before, or I guess let me be clear. So when you're coming down now off of this one, the irritability increases.
So you notice effects when it's running out.
Yeah. And I noticed it. I think I'm noticing it mostly at night, but
yeah.
but yeah, your
So-
irritability or even your kind of like paranoid theories.
So you would agree that that the come down is occurring twice a day.
Yes.
That I come down in the afternoons a little bit right before I get my second dose, and then the come down is more pronounced in the evening because I don't redose in the evening.
Right. Yeah.
But it's kind of working out good for us because like I'm coming down, and right about the time that I would normally feel a little bit cracked out, which is why I don't like the single once a day dosing for me is no good because by 4 to 6 o'clock in the evening, if I pin Tren Ace once a day, I start feeling dysphoric, cracked out. Like it's not good. Like I feel bad. And I've noticed that I feel less of that in the evenings, but that could be due to the fact that about 8 hours after taking my second Trenbolone shot of the day, when I would start to feel the come down effects, is when I dose my evening Xanax.
That's exactly what I was about to say. So we say do, as you start to come down off your first dose, you take your second dose. As you start to come off your second dose, you take your Xanax, and it seems to really...
And the nights that I forget to take my Xanax, you can kind of tell I'm a little bit more wired, and like that's usually when we have more issues.
And dark. Much more dark.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and please don't misunderstand, this is something that continues to be an ongoing theme on my channel. Just because I make a statement like I think Tren Ace feels better in my body when I dose it twice a day, I'm not telling you that you need to do it. If there's guys like I dose it once a day, I have great effects. I dose it once every other day, I have great effects. Man, great, dude. Again, when I talk about health, doses, drugs, I'm never making blanket statements that everybody needs to do something. I don't think there are any blanket statements in health, which is what this video is really about. What we're really talking about here is how I personally have solved my blood sugar problems. My methodology could very possibly make the guy next to me obese or diabetic or have a leaky gut or countless other possible things. So just because it works for me does not mean it's not going to work for you. It doesn't mean that it will work for you, which is one of the reasons that I never really wanted to do coaching or advising people in any way. Because, I'm going to sit here and tell you to go do, hey, eat this diet, take these drugs, take these ancillaries, and you may be all effed up from it because it does not mesh well with your independent biology or your independent physiology. My body seems to be tuned differently. So one of the things I've always noticed throughout my life, and I think that this is just an example of the fact that I have good genetics, this clearly does not work for the vast majority of people. I don't ever, in my estimation, have to worry about what I'm ingesting. I don't need to count micros. I don't need to worry about vitamins. I don't really need to worry about anything. The previous video that I posted today, I showed you what I looked like when I was on vacation, when we were traveling. I had ripped, peeled six-pack abs. My muscularity still looked good and strong, despite not having been to the gym in 2 months, 66 days. Really a little bit more than that, because I wasn't going to the gym when we were prepping the trailer. So, there's at least 2 months of no lifting and no kind of adherence to any particular diet, eating lots of fast food, whatever I could get my hands on, and I still looked better than most people look when they're intentionally cutting. I am very fortunate in that way. And so one of the things that I noticed when we were traveling is that I didn't have to worry about, am I getting too much protein from, I drink protein water. I have these drinks from Walmart that's 20 grams of protein, and it's like a fruit juice rather than like a chocolate type of like a muscle milk. And so I would give a lot of protein in the form of those protein waters. I would probably get upwards of 60 grams a day of protein from protein water. I would eat whatever my wife was cooking, but I would notice that all of a sudden, like she might be including something green in every dinner because she feels like it's important for the kids. We ate a lot of baby spinach when we were traveling, or she did. And occasionally, I would go through a period of time where I would really be craving baby spinach. Like all of a sudden, I would just really want to eat baby spinach. And I would eat servings and servings. And then there would be periods of time where I would put the protein waters down and I would really be craving real meat or craving this or craving that. In my body, cravings are indicative of something that's not in balance. When I start craving baby spinach, it's not because I like baby spinach. It's because clearly I am potassium deficient or fiber or something. Clearly my body is craving something. My body is having cravings because it's telling me what I need to eat. I understand. Don't go yelling at me. I understand this does not work for the vast majority of human beings who are not blessed with godlike physiology that I have. I get it. Believe me, if anybody understands how superior I am to the rest of you, it's me. So I understand you guys cannot do this. You cannot trust your bodies because apparently your bodies are tuned to obesity. My BMW M240i, if I put it in Sport Plus mode, it is tuned to be the ultimate driving machine. It does not know that it is being road raced. So when I get off the throttle at 70 miles an hour, my transmission does not drop down to 5th or 6th gear. It stays in 3rd, revving at 4,500 RPMs, just begging me for more. It thinks I'm going around the bend at the Nürburgring. I always want to say Nuremberg ring because I have a Nazi fetish. The Nürburgring. So my car in Sport Plus thinks I'm on a racetrack. It's not going to just drop gears because I'm coming up to a red light. My body is tuned like a sports car. It wants to be shredded and peeled and lithe year round. I can eat whatever I want to eat and get into that condition because my body craves what it needs, not what my brain wants. I've just never been that type of eater. Most people have left to their own devices, will sit around and eat nothing but chip. I had a buddy at work who used to tell me he would regularly spoil his diet. And I would be like, well, what did you do? He'd be like, I fucked up last night. I ate too much. And I'd be like, what did you eat? I'm thinking he ate like a tub of ice cream or a bunch of chocolate chip cookies or something. And he'd be like, dude, I ate a whole sleeve of bagels. What? You ate a sleeve of bagels? That's how you screwed up your diet? I can't even fathom that. I don't eat hardly bread at all. So I'm very fortunate in that I can eat whatever I want to eat because my body will only crave what it needs. That's why I'm not fat. That's why I have peeled abs in this other video that I was talking about. So if you've been following along recently, since I started the Trenbolone Acetate, you know that I've been having chronic blood sugar crashes. This has been catastrophic to my D game. This has been catastrophic to my life in general. I was having to carry, I was trying to treat this because I had allowed myself to buy into the bullshit perpetuated by some of my friends and a large group of people online that high fructose corn syrup is bad for you. There's all these things you'll read. Oh my God, fructose, it causes leaky gut. It's damaging your liver. There's just drone on and on and on and on about how bad for you high fructose corn syrup is. I made a video some time ago. I will link it at the end of this video where studies proved that drinking soda, that's right, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, whatever you like, it hydrates the body better than water. That's right. Drinking soda hydrates your body better than plain water because you need carbohydrates for maximum absorption of water for maximum hydration. So for all of you ketards in the audience saying, I don't need carbs. Actually, you will hydrate better if you drink beverages that include carbohydrates. You can come in here, baby. So what did I do to solve the massive blood sugar crashes that I was having? Did I stop the Tren Ace? No. Did I go on ketard diet? No. What I did was I quit fearing high fructose corn syrup. I went back to the lab again and I went back to what my body craves naturally. So my paranoia in the beginning on the Tren Ace, which is very common when you start Tren cycle, is your urine turns very dark and orange. Now, I don't know why this would have happened on Tren Ace because I was already stable on Tren E, but it happened again. I got the very dark urine and I go, oh no, I'm dehydrated. And so I started drinking a lot of electrolytes. I was also having a lot of Trenbolone muscle cramps. Very, very classic side effect to Trenbolone cycles. I do not know why this is. Somebody's going to hit me with a bunch of potassium on all these other things. And because I have bought into this line of thinking, I jumped to the conclusion that one, I needed more fluids, and two, I needed more electrolytes in my system to offset the dark colored urine and the muscle cramps that I was getting from Trenbolone. Trenbolone muscle cramps are for real. Early on in a Tren cycle, I have trouble taking a shower. I will go to, like, I will have like a loofah and go to try to, scrub some part of my body, and my forearms will just knot completely up. I will try to reach and my back will knot up. It will be very difficult for me to just take a shower in the early goings of a Tren cycle because the muscle cramps are horrific. It only seems to be in the early going that it's that bad. I do not know what causes it. What I do know is that I freak out. I start drinking massive quantities of electrolyte mix that I have around the house, which has dextrose in it. Dextrose is a high glycemic carb, and my body struggles when I start ingesting large amounts of dextrose. It seems to cause my blood sugar levels to spike, which spikes my insulin, and then I have these reactive hypoglycemia nightmares where my body overproduces insulin and knocks my sugar into the toilet. When I was trying the idiocy that I talked about in a previous video, I was drinking K-Rose syrup because it was pure dextrose. I had convinced myself that what I needed was more blood sugar, because the problem I was having is that I could check my blood sugar before adult time with my wife, and my blood sugar would be 155, and then 20 minutes into the act, I'm losing my ability to function, and I'm checking my blood sugar, and it has dropped to sub 70. It dropped into the 50s multiple times, from like the 120s to 140s all the way to 50 inside of 25, 30 minutes of interaction. And so my thought process was, oh my God, I have some major problem. I need to just be continuously ingesting dextrose to keep my blood sugar floating, and nothing was working. And then that's when I got all these people telling me, you need to go keto, you're pre-diabetic, you've got all this insulin resistance, this is a nightmare, go get this test, that test, do all these crazy things. So what I did do is I went back to trusting my body. I said, okay, wait. I know that I'm not dehydrated because I'm drinking 2 liters of Dr. Thunder a day, which is 76% water. So I'm drinking 2 liters, 76% of whatever 2 liters. I'm getting that much water per day, plus the other things that I drink, plus water for my food. I'll have some extra water here and there for other things that I ingest. So there was no real evidence that I was actually dehydrated. And the problem is that the high glycemic carbs seem to be the enemy. If I would eat pasta for dinner, I have blood sugar crashes. So I took the dextrose, the simple sugars out of my diet, and I replaced the vast majority of my sugar intake, which is large, admittedly, per day, by going back to drinking 2 liters of Dr. Thunder a day. So I stopped drinking the electrolytes. I stopped worrying about the cramps. I stopped worrying about hydration. I just went back to drinking 2 liters of Dr. Thunder per day, along with whatever else I crave. So in the mix will be an energy drink in the morning, an energy drink before the gym. Sometimes, like I've had a Gatorade here or there, and then whatever fluids I'm getting from foods. That's what I dialed my intake back to, and my blood sugar is dead fucking flat. Like I wake up still with fasting blood sugars in the upper 80s, upper every time, 85, 86, 87. But the difference is that my blood sugar is not spiking high, and it's staying stable. So like last night, my blood sugar was like 120 or something, 110. We had adult activity. I checked it after adult activity was 105. So instead of going from 155 down to sub 70s, 60s, and 50s, this massive 100-point swing, by ingesting high fructose corn syrup, my blood sugar just fluctuates right around 100, which is typically what happens when I intake high fructose corn syrup in large quantities along with GH. That seems to be the best combination for me to combat blood sugar. For whatever reason, the GH along with dextrose was not solving the problem. In fact, it was infinitely worse. And to enhanced Ketard's a point that he was making, I was just constantly having to be on top of my blood sugar levels. I was constantly having to ingest dextrose because it was just up and down roller coaster all day long. Multiple times a day, I would feel myself going low, and then I would be ingesting dextrose, simple sugars, trying to get it back up. When I just stay on the high fructose corn syrup, I don't have highs and I don't have lows. There have been a couple of times where I checked my blood sugar because I thought it might be going low. Both of these times were coincidentally late in the night when I was coming down off the trend and hadn't taken my Xanax yet. And I was probably having a little panic. And I went and checked, and both of the times my blood sugar was greater than 100. It's like 105. So that's where I kind of like to hang out. I know somebody's probably going to tell me, well, technically you shouldn't stay at like 100 to 105. I think it's fine. So high fructose corn syrup in my body is the antidote to the Trenbolone blood sugar crashes. What's interesting, and I may try to dig this video up, this is not the first time I've talked about this. I talked about this in a video, I think 2 years ago, when I was experiencing the same thing, and for some reason, I continue to make the mistake of listening to other people tell me about my biology, to tell me about my anatomy. Just because high fructose corn syrup turns you into a fat slob and causes you to have a leaky gut does not mean it's going to happen to me. Some people smoke and live to be 105. Some people smoke and are dead at 45. Genetics plays a huge factor. All of us have our own independent little ecosystems inside of our bodies. My gut flora, bacteria, balance is likely different than yours. Everything in my body functions in different ways than yours. Just because we're both human beings does not mean that what I need is what you need. Some of us are ectomorphs. Some of us are endomorphs. Some of us are mesomorphs. Some people seem to do really well on keto. Some people seem to do well on a balanced diet. Everybody's particular needs are different. My wife's needs in life are vastly different than mine. For some reason, we have no problem saying, oh, well, women need different things than men do. Ectomorphs need different things than mesomorphs or endomorphs. Or introverts are different than extroverts. But no. But when it comes to diet, everybody should be eating the same thing. That is total insanity. There's no logical reason why everybody should be eating the same thing, why one diet is better than the other in an objective sense. This is total bullshit. So for all of you guys who keep attacking me in the comment section saying, oh, this is going to make you diabetic, I don't care. I don't think it's going to. Maybe it will. Oh, well, I feel so much better on the keto diet. Good for you. Good for you. I feel phenomenal right now on the high fructose corn syrup diet. That's what I feel great on. I feel really good getting a balanced diet of protein, carbs, and fats with basically heavy on the carbs and low on the fats. That's what my body seems to function better on. Some people seem to like keto is basically nothing but high fat, low carbs. I prefer high carbs, low fat. There is no way you could sit here and tell me that objectively one of these is better than the other. Everything that you would try to use to make this point is just subjective. It's subjective. You're saying in this person it caused diabetes. In me, in the enhanced Ketard, it caused him to have migraines. In this person it causes that. In me, it's perfect. Stop trying to ruin my perfection. Every time you do, all that is transmitting to me is jealousy. That's what I think this is really about. At the end of the day, what I ultimately think is that none of you really want to be ketards. That's not what you want to do. Nobody wants to be on that diet. Everybody wants to be me. I am effectively Tyler Durden. I look like you want to look. I fuck like you want to fuck. I am free in all of the ways that you are not. That's paraphrased. That's effectively what Tyler Durden is. That's what all of your problems are. You want to look like I did on vacation, subsisting on a diet of processed foods and fast food. You want to be able to have your cake and eat it too without becoming an obese fat slob or a diabetic. You want to be able to eat honey buns and sugary drinks and Dr. Peppers and Cokes and barbecue ribs and gallons of potato salad and ice cream. That's what you want to be able to eat. You're not eating keto because you don't like carbs. You're eating keto because you cannot control your weight when you eat the carbs. And you hate me because I can. I am going to get shredded and peeled eating all of the things that you people think are absolutely toxic or would turn you into the 1,000-pound sisters inside of a year. That's what's going to happen. That's what's currently happening right now. I am ingesting close to or more 2 liters of high fructose corn syrup in the form of Dr. Thunder per day, and my blood sugar levels are perfectly normal. No more D-game crashes, no more ending up on the floor, no more brutal workouts, none of the problems that I was having before. Listening to all of you keytards, all of those problems are gone, and I'm going to continue to do what my body likes best. My body will tell me exactly what it needs. My body craves protein when it needs it. It craves fat when it needs it. It craves carbs when it needs it. It craves baby spinach when it needs whatever the hell's in baby spinach. Suddenly one day I'll go, man, I really want oatmeal. Probably need some fiber, or an apple, or whatever. My body craves exactly what it needs, because in the same way that the BMW is the ultimate driving machine, my body is the ultimate human machine. It is perfect in every single way. Stop the hatred. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.